Okay, welcome back to the channel of Pro Enzo Vidz, and this is the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 45. So, this is the second last episode of the year. So, actually, next Monday will be the last official podcast of 2022, as next week's pretty much the last week of football for the year. So, we're going to end off the podcast next Monday. I changed my mind about that. But yeah, look, welcome back to another episode 45. Great to have Rugby League Round Up, as always, the co-host here, and I've got two special guests that I've invited this afternoon. Rabbitohs fan that's probably still hurting from Saturday, Cj Moxley, and as last week, Ben, who's just arrived just in time. So, Ben, mate, I'll start with you. How you going on this afternoon?
Nick, you mean me?
Yeah, Nick, I keep getting mixed up to your Instagram.
Yeah,
Instagram,
I'm gonna change that. I'll change that. So
yeah, all good.
no, I'm going good. All good. Looking forward to this. It should be good.
Yeah, good to have you on again, because I thought that your your camera wasn't connecting before, but no, good to have you on just in time before you started, actually. So good to see
I'm
you
on
again.
my iPad this time, so it should be better, hopefully.
Yeah, it seems better.
Yeah.
CJ, look, as always, good to have you on the channel, and bro, I'm sorry about last Saturday, Like, that must have been so tough to take in.
No, look, thanks for having me on again, bro. Saturday was a whirlwind of emotions. When we were up 12-0, I thought we were going to go off the job, but look, man, it's not meant to be. And on to 2023.
Yeah, no, that's it. And Billy, good to have you on as the regular co-host yet again. How you been, bro?
Yeah, good. Holidays are here, so very, very well. How about you, bro?
Oh yeah, holidays are here, and I'm doing great as well. But yeah, look, obviously, as the season comes to an end, there's not much to talk about other than signing rumors and other sort of off-season stuff. So that's pretty much what the podcast has been a bit made out of today with the topics. But it's obviously going to start with finals first, as we're in the grand final week now. So going to sort of dissect the week it was from the preliminary finals. The first sort of thing we get into, then we're going to go through the finals in general. So. Just want to say hello to everyone in the chat so far. Got currently 9 people watching the stream. So hello to everyone that's just tuned in now or has watched since the start. So gonna go through everyone that's here so far. So Jason Reader, how you going, mate? Evening. Kenny Gates PlayStation, how's it going? Sorry about last Saturday. Got Luke Melisor here as well. How's it going, bro? Jacko here says, hi, D League Nutters and one and all. Yep, how's it going? Josh Rabbitohs 2022 says, hi, lads. And look, that's not a bad crowd so far. So good to see everyone turning up on this beautiful Monday afternoon. So great to have everyone just tune in and enjoy the podcast. So we are going to start right now. So we will kick off with as always, topic number 1, the preliminary finals. 2022 review. So just going to review what we thought the week in general. Basically what we thought about both games, where it was the grand final decider, basically where Cowboys and Eagles played, which was very controversial. Then we're going to talk about Panthers and the Rabbitohs and what we thought about that game as well. So I will start with you, Rugby League Round Up, Billy. So when you looked at or watched the week it was last week for the preliminary finals, what did you make of the round? Like, were both games good, do you think? And do you think it was an improvement from last semi-finals when it was just blowouts?
Yeah, I actually think it did improve, to be honest. Last week was mainly blowouts. For the Panthers game, which I know CJ must hurt, the Rabbitohs came out with a lot of intent. Like, they were out there to really hurt Penrith there. And they were damaging for most of that first half, for at least 35 minutes. And Penrith got an intercept try, which basically ruined a lot of South Sydney's momentum. So after that, I think that's what caused the blowout. I just think they just lost a bit of confidence after that. But I thought that game was all right. I thought it was 6.5 out of 10, other than a bit of that, most of that second half, which was just blown out, unfortunately. The first game was very controversial, I'm going to be honest. It was even though I was going for Para, because they haven't won in 36 years, and I like to root for a bit of an underdog. Cowboys were a bit hard done by, but for Cowboys fans, things can only get better in my opinion. Literally, I really think they will go out next year and come back stronger. So, be proud of your team this season, Cowboys fans. That was an amazing season, and even though the controversial call was made, I thought it was an exciting game as well. So, yeah, it was a solid week of footy, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and well said. Nick, what were your thoughts about the week it was, mate? Did you think both games were good compared to when the semi-finals was all 13-plus sort of scorelines? And this week was actually pretty tight, apart from, I guess, the Panthers and Rabbitohs game. But the Cowboys and Eels one was good, where it was tight, but obviously controversial as well.
Yeah, I liked both of the games. I really liked Rabbitohs and Panthers. First time I've ever felt bad for the Rabbitohs, actually. They were really good in the first half. Thought they had Penrith. And then the Eels one, I tipped Cowboys. Thought they tried in little bits, but the Eels just came out firing. But yeah, I really liked Rabbitohs Panthers.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, well said. Thanks for your thoughts. And CJ, look, like I said, obviously last Sunday would have hurt you, bro. But other than that, what did you make of the preliminary finals on both games for last week?
Look, I enjoyed one of them, except for the controversial calls, the Cowboys and Eels. Well, I mean, NRL wanted the Battle of the West Grand Final, and they've got what they've wanted.
Yeah.
Look, I thought the Cowboys, it was Grand Final. It felt pretty intense, especially for those last 10 minutes. It was anyone's game. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was tight, close-knitted all game. South, Penrith, not much to say except we should have went on with the job when we were up 12-0, but no, the momentum swung, especially with that Brian Toto try. So we only got ourselves to blame, and on to 2023.
Yeah, no, fairly well said. And, obviously it was hard for any South fan, I guess, just losing that sort of circumstance, But, yeah, no, look, obviously what I thought about week 3 of finals, it wasn't a bad round of footy. Grand final decided it's obviously going to get a lot of hype and a lot of talk about. It's about, what team's going to the grand final, the big dance, pretty much we call it now. And, obviously Panthers and the Eels proceeded to that next level. So this coming Sunday, we're going to see them both play. Should be a good grand final, and I hope it is. I really hope that this does live up to the hype it is, because, like you said, CJ, obviously the NRL probably wanted a Battle of the West grand final because they somehow think it's a rivalry when it's not. It's a derby at best, and but I guess both teams had good performances in the past against each other. So let's just hope that lives up to the hype it does have so far. But yeah, look, week 3 in general was good, I thought. Definitely a lot of controversy, but we will discuss that very soon, actually, because that is actually the next topic as well. So, topic number 2. Oh, boy. This is going to get pretty heated, I think, if you're a Cowboys fan watching this right now. But yeah, topic number 2 was, obviously I have to kick it off. Obviously, I made this one of the earlier topics because, I want to kick it off with a bang and sort of get this out of the way. But, look, on Friday, when the Cowboys and the Eels play each other in Townsville, around the 9th or 10th minute of the match, can't remember what minute it was, but it was very early in the game. The first try came off the Eels through Will Pinasini, but there is a bit of a twist in that. And that twist was when Mitchell Moses had the ball, where he basically passed it out to Papali'i Ip and out to Pinasini. There was evidence, and obviously it was clear as day that you could see that it was forward. Mitchell Moses threw a forward pass. Graham honestly thinks it's marginal or whatever he said before, but that's just a crap excuse. That's just a silly excuse there to not make the game look bad. But it definitely was forward. Anyone can see that. Even a 5-year-old can even see that was a forward pass as well. But, I just think that this was the difference in the end, which it was, because they won 24 points to 20 over the Cowboys. And imagine that try didn't happen. It would have been 20 points to 18 Cowboys way. And they would have had more of a chance to go to the grand final. But, you can't do much about it now, I guess. But, yeah, boys, what do you think about this? Were the Cowboys definitely robbed against the Eels, or do you think this was not going to change anything? I'll start with you first, CJ. What were your thoughts on the forward pass by Mitchell Moses? Was this another case of a robbery for the Cowboys in finals for yet again another season, or do you think it was fine?
Cowboys got thudded. Simple as that. it was a forward pass, and I think anyone can see that. The NRL came out today and admitted that it was a forward pass and it shouldn't have been ruled. So that would have made it, 20-18. And then you put on the Mitchell Moses penalty goal that he missed, 20-16. The Cowboys were robbed, and it should be a Panthers-Cowboys grand final. That's just heartbreaking for Cowboys because
No,
they
100%.
did so well to turn around their season, and they got dudded out of a grand final. So if you're a Cowboys fan and you're frustrated, I don't blame you one bit. They got dudded. They got robbed.
Yeah, me neither. And I got to say, I'll go as far as saying that, Cowboys were the better team all year than what Parramatta were in 2022. That's in my opinion anyway. I thought Cowboys were a lot better than Para in many games. Billy, what do you think? Were the Cowboys dudded and robbed against the Eels on Friday, or like some people were saying, it wouldn't cause a difference in the end?
Yeah, I think unfortunately they were robbed. For Cowboys fans will be very, very, very mad about this because, for a team to go from 15th to second place and do so well and be very consistent the whole year when no one even thought they were going to get out of the top 10 is an achievement. And they got to the prelims, and the refs have cost them. And I was watching the review with Nick and CJ about forward pass technology. We need it.
Yeah.
We desperately need it. We have to not spend money on more teams in the NRLW. We need to focus on the bunker. We need to focus on the forward pass technology because that is going to cost plenty of teams in the future. And seriously, they have to fix it up now, in my opinion, because it's going to get really ugly. These refs, they really are inconsistent on the field. So they're going to need a bunker eventually for the forward passes. That's just my opinion. Even though I am rooting for Para this week, and I've been going for all of the finals series. I think the Cowboys were robbed and hard done by, and it's very unfortunate for Cowboys and their fans.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree. And when you say they need forward pass technology, I agree with that as well. I think that's what the game needs to implement and bring in because it's costing too many clubs in crucial games. And we've seen plenty of times that the difference has been some games that a forward pass was called, and that was the difference by the end of the whole match. So we definitely need some forward pass technology. I do think we need that in the future. Nick, you're obviously watching the Cowboys and Eagles game on Friday, I assume. When you saw the forward pass by Mitchell Moses, what is that?
I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, it's just they're getting copyrighted. Whoever that was, they're getting copyrighted because that's going to obviously get copyrighted this stream as more music comes out. But yeah, as I was saying, Nick, what did you make of the forward pass by Mitchell Moses, bro? Was that forward, or do you think it was?
Yeah, it was definitely forward, most definitely. But I don't personally think it would have changed a whole lot for the Cowboys. But I think the Cowboys did their best, and I think all their fans should be very proud of them coming from being close to the wooden spoon last year to get where they were. They did very well to get there, and I thought that Todd Payton talked very well in the press conference. And I do think the forward pass technology would be good, but I think it should just stick at that instead of them adding more and more to it as well. I don't think it would be a good idea, but I think they just need to stick with one technology with it instead of trying to do what they've done with other sports and just make it full of technology.
Yeah, no, fair point actually, because I agree because I'm sick of the new changes that they're trying to bring in every game now, every week, because we always hear a new rule coming in. It's that's what I'm getting a bit sick of. So I do agree with you in that sort of instance though, Nick. But look, as for what I think about the whole situation, I said on game day when that happened, Cowboys were definitely robbed. They should have been the grand final for this year, not Parramatta. I think when you know that you lost by 4 points and that 4 points you lost by was by a forward pass, then I definitely think you'd be fuming. Our good friend Nick from Australia, the big Cowboys fan, he obviously was very mad and he was fuming about last Friday. And I can't blame him. You know, I'm sure himself and many other Cowboys fans would be very angry and would feel very mad about being dudded and the bunker sort of, or the referee, I should say, allowing it to go ahead. But the bunker plays some sort of role in it as well. But I do think that the Cowboys fans have every right to be mad. Because that losing by 4 points in the prelim is going to really hurt you, especially when you know that one try was the difference and that shouldn't have been given in the first place. So Cowboys were definitely robbed, and Para were lucky to win the game in the end. But Para are there now, and I guess whoever makes the grand final deserves it in the end. But I do think that they were lucky.
May I say as well, I'm sick of Graham Annesley apologising. I am so sick of it. I am very mad because if you apologise, it doesn't make it any better. It doesn't mean you're going to win. You've already lost. The game's over. It's not going to change the result. It's extremely annoying. We got called by Graham Annesley in 2020 about the game against the Sharks where Matt Duffy clearly grounded the ball and made it a dropout, and they gave it a try, which pissed me off too because it was against our rivals. So I'm sick of this apology crap. I think, you need to start sacking referees for a certain amount of time. At least do something about it. Don't just apologise. That's all I have to say. I'm just sick of his apologies.
Yeah, bro, 100%. And honestly, for me, obviously he always has to come out and say his word as he's sort of the head of all that. But it's getting old now, and people are getting sick of it. It's just people like whatever he says doesn't make a difference. Even though he has to speak about the controversy and stuff like that, what he says doesn't make a difference anyway. So I feel like honestly needs to look at himself a bit more better, I reckon, in terms
especially in a grand final qualifier. Doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah. Exactly now. Yeah, I mean, imagine how Cowboys fans feel. They probably would just, obviously be mad that try shouldn't have been ever given in the first place. But according to Annesley, he says marginal. So I don't understand how it's marginal, but honestly,
yeah, it's very annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, on topic number 3. Okay, well, this is going to be a bit controversial as well. So, Panthers duo, William Mikikia and Jerome Luai, both are free to play this Sunday's grand final against Parramatta. Kikia was charged with a shoulder charge, grade 1 shoulder charge on Campbell Graham, the South Sydney centre, and got away with it somehow. So, I don't know. I'm a bit confused about that one. And as for Jerome Luai, well, he wasn't charged at all for his high shot on Campbell Graham. So, both of them are targeting Campbell Graham. What's going on here? Why are both of them taking a shot at Campbell Graham for? Like, man, I don't understand that. I would understand if one of them at least got suspended, but both of them missing, both of them being free to play, for a grand final. I mean, I'm not surprised, but both of them being able to play is a bit strange in my opinion. I'll start with you, CJ, as this was what occurred in your game for South Sydney against Penrith. Yeah, what do you think about this? Like, do you think that Kikia and Lua deserve to get off, or do you think that they deserve to be suspended and take what suspension they did deserve in the first place?
They shouldn't even be playing in a grand final next week, but they'll get off because it's a grand final. I knew it the minute it happened that they wouldn't be suspended, but it just shows, I don't want to say favoritism and all stuff like that, but it's getting blatantly obvious now. Jason Tamalalo is out for 3 weeks. Tane Milne's out for 6 weeks. But when Kikia and Luai does any sort of dangerous contact, which should at least be a week, they're free to play because it's a grand final. They shouldn't be playing next week. It's a joke, and I'm fuming about it. Really, I really am.
Yeah, and I just want to say as well, I think with William Kikia, I feel like if this was anyone else, they would have definitely missed the game for sure. But because it's Kikia, it plays with Penrith, which is a bit of bias, I guess, towards Penrith and the NRL and that. And because it's probably Kikia's last game for the Panthers as well before he goes to the Bulldogs, you know what? He probably used the Billy Slater reference, where Billy Slater was like, "Oh, this is my last game in the NRL." The grand final against the Roosters in 2018, let me play after that shoulder charge on Feki in the preliminary final. So it's a very similar situation. Kikia as it's his last game for Penrith before going to the Bulldogs. So, but But I would say that if that was Tamalolo and the Cowboys in the grand final, he would have got it off as well. That's probably what I
for
think.
sure. It's an
That's what I
absolute joke.
Yeah, it's a farce, eh? Nick, what do you think about this, bro? Kikia and Luai both getting off for a shoulder charge and a high tackle. Do you believe they should be suspended, or do you think that they should be fine to play?
Well, they should be suspended, and the judiciary should be suspended for their terrible rulings with it for a long time. But even though it's a grand final, it's against the rules to do it, and they should be suspended. It's the same as Nelson and a lot of different players, where once you've got a record, it seems they deliberately kind of target some players, and then once it gets to the finals, that just goes away, and judiciary goes on a holiday and have a nice sleep. I don't know. They should have been suspended.
Yeah, 100%. I agree in that. Just seeing a comment here by Jackie here in the comments. He says that Tamalolo's hit was late and straight at the head. It was resulting in the HIA, far worse than kick out. 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Like,
Not against the rules.
Yeah, and plus when he did the shoulder charge, to the head, that pretty much made the other player go off. Papali'i, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. So I think if that was the Cowboys in the grand final, he would have gotten off as well. But I'm not sure these days. Rugby League Round Up. What do you make of the whole situation, bro? Kikia and Luai, should they be playing or not?
I'm going to go straight out and say Penrith favoritism. Now, the big clubs get favorited. I'm sick of that too. I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of seeing Melbourne get away with it with Kafusi and Nelson and all the other players that get done for things and don't get suspended, where there's things that aren't even bad and they get suspended for like 10 weeks. But if it's Melbourne, if it's Roosters, if it's Panthers, they'll get away with it. Free.
Yeah.
Literally. And I don't even know if Viliami Kikau and Jerome Luai, if they got suspended this week, they're not going to get suspended this week. They're going to use it for next year anyway, like Taylor May did with his suspension. So, yeah, that's obvious Penrith favoritism. NRL needs to seriously start looking at this shit properly without being biased. I'm fuming about that. Poor Campbell Graham though, poor stretch man. He's getting hit hard. He's playing with broken ribs for 3 weeks, possibly even longer, and he's getting shoulder charge in the ribs. He's taking high shots from Jerome Luai. Mate, these Penrith players, they're non-stop. A lot of them are a bit, dirty in my opinion. But I do respect them because they're a good team. But like, they seriously need to clean some of their shots up. And I'm saying, if Tane Milne was on Penrith, is that suspension going to be different if he hit a Rabbitohs player like that?
He'd get a week.
He'd get 1 week.
Yeah,
Poor bugger got 6 to 7 weeks on the sideline now. So
I hope he's in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, what do you do?
But you know what it is at the end of the day, according to the great Peter V'landys, it's for the fans, It's for the fans. This is why Kiki and Luai got off. It's for the fans, Oh, look at Taylor May. He gets to use his suspension for next year, whatever it was. What a joke, honestly.
What a malacca, man. Seriously.
Absolute joke.
I'll just add, I think that the judiciary, they should get rid of everybody that's there now and bring in new people for next year and set the rules to every club to be the same, and just keep it consistent and not change it in different parts of the year and just keep it the same.
Yeah. No,
because they seem to change it regularly, and like some players, I don't know. I mean, I think Nelson's been 12, 13 times and not been suspended once this year, and then Taylor May next year, it's just an absolute joke.
Mate.
Yeah. What's the point in the judiciary then? I mean, if they're not going to do their job, what's the point? I mean,
exactly. No, 100%. I agree. I mean, they're there to do a big job, and their job is to make sure that they're consistent with what players go and get a suspension or not. But obviously they're not, and obviously that their penalties recently have been really, really soft and really poor. So I think they need to blow the joint up, blow it up, and send it to Brazil. Fuck it, send them to Brazil. Honestly, send them all to Brazil, get their heads checked, whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. These people who work in the judiciary are just stuffed, honestly. That's all I'm going to say about the whole thing. But at the end of the day, Kiki and Luai should be both suspended, but it's a grand final. They'll get off, unfortunately. Right, topic number 4. Topic number 4 is a very, very big topic because yesterday we saw some first images of Bulldogs' favourite son and the grub, who everyone knows him as, Josh Reynolds. He officially returned to the Bulldogs, and that proved it yesterday that he was in the Bulldogs polo and jumper. It looked good. That was his first time wearing the club's emblem since 2017, I assume, 5 years ago now. Great to see him back at the Bulldogs in the home territory. So I think that he will go well for the next year, despite him being 33. But we'll see if he does get the contract first, as he, is on a 12-month training trial contract. But I assume he will get a deal though. But we'll see anyway. I'll start with you, Nick, this time. Obviously, Josh Reynolds is a good pickup for the Bulldogs. Obviously, he's a heart and soul of that club. But with Matt Byrne and Cole Fanning as their probably preferred half so far, I imagine, and their jersey 14 could be Bailey Biondi-Odo and other people like that. Where do you see Josh Reynolds playing next year, in your opinion?
I personally see him in the New South Wales Cup for the majority of the season. Even if he gets past the trial contract, I just didn't think his form was good in the Super League for his age as well.
That's right.
Maybe as a replacement for Flanagan and Burton, but I don't personally see him playing many games. Maybe one. I don't personally see him in their team at all. Maybe New South Wales Cup, even that. I don't know. I'm not a personal fan of Reynolds. Don't really like him, but I think he is good to get back at the club for some of the younger guys to kind of rebuild. What's the word for it? Bit of spirit at the club and those type of things.
Yeah, passion. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. That's what he will bring to the Bulldogs, I reckon, is that passion and that heart that they used to have back in the day, So I think that's what he will bring really well to the club. CJ, what do you make of Reynolds going back to the Dogs, in your opinion? If that's his first time back at the club in 5 years, does he start in the halfback role, or play in the halves of Burton at least, or does he come off the bench and be the utility? Where do you see him start 2023?
Yeah, some things just feel right, doesn't it? Josh Reynolds back at the Dogs, one of them. I don't think, like Nick said, he'll probably be New South Wales Cup, but he'll still play a big part in how the Bulldogs go. He'll bring back morale back to the club, the passion he has for the Dogs. He even said in his interview, he when he left and went to the Tigers, instantly regretted it. Yeah, some of the players that feel right just being in a Bulldogs polo, and that's Josh Reynolds himself. I think if there is a position, if he was to play first grade, I'd probably have him as 14. He can cover in the hooker position and in the halves, so I think that's really good. Yeah, this is a good signing, I think. So Josh Reynolds, he'll bring that passion, and it's a great he's going to be a great mentor for those young Bulldogs and try and bring back that Dogs of War mentality back to the club in their rebuild. So I think it's a good signing.
Yeah, 100% agree, bro. I think you will do a good job for the young guys there too, and just in general bring that passion. Rugby League Round Up, what do you make of the pickup, bro? Reynolds is obviously someone that I think will do a lot for the club, but do you think he'll start halfback on the bench or New South Wales Cup like the other boys have said? What do you think, bro?
Actually, if he gets past the training trial deal, I don't think he'll be a New South Wales Cup player, in my opinion. I think he'll come off the bench as a number 14. I think he's much more experienced than Bailey Biondi-Odo and Zach Docker-Clay. And wait a second.
Yeah, I was going to say audio problem, someone. Oh, you're muted. Really, muted.
God's sakes, man. Bailey, like I'm saying, Bailey Biondi-Odo, and he's better than Bailey. He's better than Brandon, and he's better than Zach Docker-Clay. more experienced than him as well, and he'll definitely bring the passion back to the Bulldogs. I don't even think like you said, he regretted when he left. I don't think he actually wanted to leave, but maybe some pressure got to him. He probably wanted more money. Money talks, boys. And that's why he left. He went to another failure of a club, and and then he left there because the Tigers didn't end up wanting him because they made him trash. So, I reckon he'll be very good for the Bulldogs. If he doesn't play first grade, he'll be such a great influence on the young man at that club for the juniors, because they got a lot of juniors there. The Bulldogs, Toppany, Beyond the Otto, like I just said. They're going to get rid of Brandon Wakeham, which I think is a bit dumb.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind him.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind him.
Wakeham.
But anyway, he'll be really good for the club, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He'll be a number 14.
Yeah, fair enough. And, I just want to say with Reynolds, I think this is great for the Bulldogs. He's 33 years old. Obviously, there's some questions about it, which I don't blame the people that are questioning the signing about it because, 33 years old, he's best is definitely past him, and I don't think he has much to offer. He will be 34 next year too. So, that's unbelievable, eh? But he will bring that passion. He will bring a bit of heart to the club, and I think he will make the players around him play better. So I think that's the main thing about Reynolds, that he will do a good job there. I just want to say also there's some rumours that the Bulldogs are trying to sign Manu Brown back at the club. I saw the past couple of days.
That's huge.
They're trying to pick him up as a jersey 14, I assume. As Manu will be the hooker there, the starting hooker. He's a good player, but you got Docker Clay, Beyond Yodo, plenty of options.
Seems like they're trying to bring back that 2014 to 16 type team. What's next? They signed Tim Laffey or something? What is this?
No, he does. It feels like that.
I saw that they were, what's his name, Bronson Sherry. Isn't it the one that was suspended? I saw that the Bulldogs were interested in him as well. They seem to be interested in a lot of people now, but I think Docker Clay is good if they keep him.
Yeah.
He was not too bad, but I don't know why they're getting rid of Brandon Wakeham, to be honest. I think he was really good in the New South Wales Cup. I think he should have been on their bench, personally.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess maybe just opportunities may have come about for him in England, but either way, it's a bit of a loss, I guess, in terms of depth.
But they got, I think they got Andrew Davies, the one was at Manly last year. Yeah.
Yeah, the Manly
Getting
boy.
everyone.
He'll
Getting everyone.
But as I was saying, I think I agree with Billy. I think he'll be the jersey 14, Josh Reynolds. I think that's where he's probably going to start off with if he gets past the train and trial contract, which I assume he will. I can't see the Bulldogs, giving him a chance and then getting rid of him after he doesn't get past the train and trial deal. So I do think he'll be the jersey 14. Maybe play a bit of that ball playing role at lock maybe. Maybe that's where he could fit in if he gets a bit bigger, I guess, as the modern game suits those sort of players now. They can play in the middle, so like smaller men. And he may play a bit of hooker as well if Marnie's ever down, I guess. But we'll be interesting to see what Cameron Sorrell does do with Reynolds, that's for sure. And on to the last sort of topic of the show. Topic number 5 is a topic that did happen a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago. So it was a little bit of a week sort of due or late. But it doesn't matter. I still decided to add it in, as I didn't talk about it on my channel at all, as I usually would talk about some signing news, but I'll just discuss it here instead of making a separate video. But Jock Madden, Jock Madden, as we all know, is the Tigers, or former Tiger now, half, and he obviously wanted to chase a bit of first grade opportunity at a club, but don't think he's going to get that straight away at the Broncos, or he might with Ezra Mam competing with him for next year. I'm not sure, but Jock Madden signed to the Brisbane Broncos starting in 2023 and 2024. Look, not a bad signing, I don't think, but I don't think he'll be anything special until maybe he gets some more opportunities with Reynolds going in the future or stuff like that. But I'll start with you, Billy. What are you making the pickup of Jock Madden going to the Broncos? Do you like it? Like, do you rate it, or do you think it's not the best signing?
Look, I I don't watch the Tigers that much because we all know that they don't really win anymore. And I think he's a bit unproven. I think the Tigers aren't the best club to show your talents. I think they don't, even though they've got a good batch of juniors, they don't really do the same in first grade. Proven with Jock Madden, and Jake Simpkin doesn't even get chances at this point, which is a bit dumb. But yeah, I think this is good for Jock Madden because I actually think he's talented. I do think he's talented. The one game I have watched him, or the one or two games I have watched him play against the Broncos and the Dragons, he's done all right. Obviously, he had a long range try against our boys, and he got a couple of tries against the Broncos. So, look, he's got a lot of talent, no doubt. It's just whether he can fulfill it and do well at the Broncos, which I think he might actually do well. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's just we'll have to wait and see signing, in my opinion. And I don't really mind it. I give it about a 5.5 out of 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a fair rating, and I agree. I think this is a signing that we can't rate yet and can't say it's going to be good for sure. But I think he gets opportunities and might turn out okay. CJ, when you saw the signing of Jock Madden going to the Broncos, do you think that he will start straight away? And do you think this is a good move for him personally if he does want to play a bit more first grade, as he has said, but I don't know if he'll get that at the Broncos for most of the time. But in general, bro, what do you think about the sign for the Broncos, Jock Madden?
I think short term, it's probably going to be nothing. It's just going to be an average signing short term. You won't get much games unless somehow one of the halves end up rep level somehow or injured. I personally believe that Jock Madden is the successor to Adam Reynolds. Yeah. I think once Reynolds retires, Jock Madden will be the Broncos halfback. But on another one, I think Jock Madden could change into a hooker. I can just see it happening for some reason. I think he could personally change into a hooker. I like the signing. I think for the first year or two, he'll probably just be in the reserves. But around 2024, 2025, when Reynolds time's up, I think he'll success Reynolds and he'll come into the Broncos 7 with a lot of experience under his belt, and I think it's good. It's a good signing long term.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Have to wait and see how he goes. Nick, what do you make of the Jock Madden going to the Broncos next year signing? Do you like it, or do you think that maybe this isn't going to work in the end? What do you reckon, bro?
I agree with CJ. I think in the long term, it's a good signing for them. But in the short term, I can't really see him in their side next year much. But long term, instead of Reynolds, he could be really good. But I think getting out of the Tigers will do him good. Surprised the Broncos picked him up. But I think it's not a bad signing. I just say with Billy, with us signing Jacob Little as well. It's just I got to wait to see until proven properly. Madden and Little aren't too bad, but I think they're not great either. So we'll just have to wait and see how he goes.
I'm surprised Madden didn't go Newcastle. He has
junior,
so that's a bit strange.
Yeah. I think they got Gamble, don't they now? I think I heard.
They got Gamble instead, who isn't a bad player, but man, look, I have my opinions on Gamble. I don't know if he's the greatest, but we'll see anyway how it goes next year.
He's very aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive to a limit where he gets suspended. Just not worth it sometimes. Yeah, but as Jacko here said in the comments here, actually, he said that even the Knights could have used him, but I guess chose the Broncos. Maybe he knew that he'll be a successor after Reynolds goes. I'm not sure, but it's a bit strange considering that Jock Madden did say he wanted permanent first grade time in the future, wanted to play consistent first grade, unlike he was getting at the Tigers. But goes to Broncos where there's obviously Reynolds as a halfback and Ezra Mam is probably going to be long-term 5'8", I assume. unless there's something about him maybe competing with Ezra Mam and Jock Madden for next year. Who knows? Like I said, but that could be the case. But we'll see anyway, I suppose. But yeah, look, I don't mind the pickup. I don't mind the pickup. I think that he will do an all right job there for the time he's there. could be a bit like Sean O'Sullivan, maybe. O'Sullivan did his apprenticeship at the Panthers for this year, and next year will be at the Dolphins, being like the starting halfback, I assume. So I guess that could be a bit like that sort of, but maybe there's a bit more to it, that he could be a starting half in the future for more games. But in general, I do rate the signing. I do think he's a good player. Madden, who's still very young, only 22 or something years old, so definitely plenty of time for him to get better, I guess. But yeah, I don't mind the Madden signing either. I agree with what you boys have said. All right, well, up to the very sort of last thing in the show, but after this we will talk about the grand final. But as always, we do go through the last sort of segment of the show, and this is our player of the round. So no more teams around for the rest of the year as the games are getting a bit shorter and shorter. But we will talk about who we think our player of the round was for the preliminary finals. It's a bit of a tough one, actually. I'll start with you, CJ. Looking back to the week it was, who, in your honest opinion, was the player of the round during the preliminary finals, in your opinion?
Oh, fuck. I hate saying this, but I think it's Brian Toto. He's carved us up. I believe he made 80 post-contact meters and 293 running meters. And the try before half-time where he scored swung the momentum in Penrith's way. So I think Brian Toto, he really carved us up and he had a blinder. So my player of the prelim finals was Brian Toto. Yeah,
fair call. And I think I agree with you saying he's your player of the round. I mean, he was great at Toto and he really did a good job for Penrith in their win. Nick, who do you think is your player of the round for?
I'll be back in a sec. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I just got to turn something off. I'll just be back. Just give me a second.
Boys, I'll give you my player of the round while I'm waiting.
You can go now, Billy. Thank God you're back in time. Who's your player of the round for this last week, mate?
I say Brian Toto. Toto. Can't miss him. But as someone else, as a second one, I got to go to Vida Totola.
All right.
I thought he was really good for Souths, personally. But Toto.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I think he was all right. Totola, but definitely Toto. Yeah, I agree. Rugby League Round Up. Who was your player of the round for the preliminary finals, in your opinion, bro?
Yeah, I'd have to go with. It's a tough decision because there was a lot of good players, but I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna go Brian Toto. I think he was really strong on Saturday, so yeah, he's my player of the round as well.
Yeah, look, I'm going to agree with you all. I think Brian Toto is my player of the round as well. We'll all go Brian Toto, eh? All four of us, Brian Toto for player of the round.
I wouldn't argue if someone said Edwards, to be honest.
Yeah, Dylan Edwards.
I could see both here and Fnatic saying that too. But yeah, no, look, I agree. I think Toto is my player of the round. He pretty much carved up against Souths last Saturday. I know CJ's not going to like me saying this, but that fender, he did Cody Walker was clean.
That was into a dimension. I hated that.
That was incredible, but obviously that would definitely hurt. Yeah, but look, he had a great game against the Rabbitohs. I thought Toto, if he ran for that many meters, like he did last week, then yeah, definitely a man of the match sort of performance and should be recognised. Just one more thing before we end off the podcast. Sorry, not that. We're just gonna give a quick sort of preview for the grand final. So I'm not gonna give my tip. I'm gonna do my tips on Tuesday, but I do want to hear from all three of you boys. What is your tip for the weekend ahead? Like, what are you tipping for the grand final this Sunday? Who do you think will go the whole way and win the comp for this year? And just basically general thoughts on the grand final. So I'll start with you, CJ. What do you think of the Panthers versus Eels grand final for this Sunday? And who do you see winning the whole comp in your opinion?
Yeah, they got what they wanted. They won the Battle of the West and they're going to get it. I think it'll be a solid grand final. I'm keen for it. Panthers Eels. Panthers looking. It's their third consecutive grand final. Looking to go back to back. Parramatta's first grand final in 13 years since 2009. Trying to break that 36-year premiership drought since 86. So, yeah, look, I think it'll be a really good game. Very defensive, tight game. Personally, at the moment, I'm probably saying Penrith go back to back. I want to see Parramatta win it and break the drought, but honestly, Penrith, they're ruthless and they won't care about your drought. So, at the moment, I'm probably leaning towards Penrith going back to back, unfortunately. But yeah, that's probably my matchup at the moment.
Billy, what do you reckon, bro? What do you think will happen in the Panthers Eels grand final?
I'm going to go, like I said all year, I knew it was going to be Eels Panthers grand final. I think I did it in my NRL ladder predictions and my final predictions. I said Parramatta and Penrith will be the grand final. And I'm going to go with Parramatta Eels to win 18 points to 14 in a close battle. I really think Eels want it that much that they'll go out, play a great game. And I actually think they'll win. I think Mitch Moses wants to have a great game. Obviously, the birth of his kid. So, yeah.
The sun's going to explode. The sun's going to explode.
Mate, I reckon he'll have a good game. And I really do wish the best for Parramatta and their fans.
Sun's going to explode, eh?
You know what? Fuck Mitchell Moses. That's all I'm going to say. Fuck Mitchell Moses. I cannot stand him. I think he's an arrogant prick. That's all I'm going to say. I've never liked him. I'm sorry to anyone that likes Moses, but I've never rated him. I do look. He's a good player, but I don't rate him as a person because I think he's a bit annoying. Nick, what's going to happen on Sunday, bro? Who wins the comp? Panthers or Eagles, in your opinion?
I'm going to tip Parramatta, but I also do think Penrith, but I think Parramatta, as long as Mitch Moses does stay out there for the whole game and Jake Arthur stays a long way off the field, I think Parramatta.
Jake Arthur.
But get some people they actually will use on the bench.
Can I say, they should play Nathan Brown.
They
should.
might. I heard some talk that they might actually do that because Jake Arthur didn't play against the Cowboys. They might actually bring him on the bench instead. But it's the Parramatta slime. Who cares, you know? As for my tip, I'm giving my tip on Tuesday. That's right, I'm giving my tip on Tuesday. Just remembered. But I will say my final thoughts of the game, that will be a good one. That's for sure. Battle of the West should live up to the hype. Let's hope it does live up to the hype that's been said. Hopefully. But lads, this wraps up the Ankle Breaker podcast episode 45. Thank you so much.
Enzo, I just want to add something that I just saw come up on my iPad thing here to get your opinion, everybody. So, the Wayne Bennett has reportedly met with Luke Brooks in New South Wales yesterday.
What the fuck?
So he
Just
met
came
Luke
up
Brooks.
Yep, from the Tigers, met with Luke Brooks and his management yesterday. Just came up on here now.
Could be something good for him.
That's very surprising. I don't know if that's an approach against the Dolphins. I'm not sure. But either way, Brooks is a failure. That's not going to change for the rest of his career. But look, anyway, that does conclude the Ankle Breaker podcast episode 45. Thanks for watching. Just want to say thank you to CJ and Nick for coming on the podcast today. A special guest. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for coming on this afternoon. And as always, thank you, Rugby League Round Up, for yet again another episode as the co-host. But everyone, that concludes the episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go and check out Nick's Instagram in the description down below. Go and subscribe to CJ and Rugby League Round Up YouTube channel as well. But thanks, lads, for watching. And next week's the last podcast episode for the year. So I'll see you then.
Go the Warriors.